Welcome everyone to our introductory lecture on language neuroscience. In this short video, you will find an introductory presentation on this matter, which I particularly think is one of the most important science that contributes to the linguistics in general. So, this field combines knowledge from neuroscience, of course, psychology and linguistics to investigate the neural mechanisms underlying the production, comprehension, and processing of human language. Differently from what one may think, this area of studies is not stuck to experimental analysis, such as MRI or imaging, but also contains a very particular basis on theoretical works. The first thing is, before talking about its theories and goals, some words should be spoken about the neurological basis of language, because language is supported by a distributed neural system across lots of regions of the brain, with a focus on the temporal and frontal cortex areas, especially in the left hemisphere. In this case, language is not only a particular form of grammar, which we are able to find inside, for example, school books or even in dictionaries. In fact, there is also some sort of modular system inside our minds. And here I do not intend to give further explanation of this problem. But, for example, some lesion studies have shown that damage to those areas can result in language disorders such as aphasia. Because of this, it's pretty clear that language is, on its basis, connected with what we call brain. Regarding some key topics of this science, we can divide them in three. Language comprehension, that during the language comprehension we have, the brain processes phonological, semantic, and also synthetic information in a very integrated manner. For example, when hearing the sentence, "the cat is in the box," different areas of the cerebral cortex are activated to process word meanings, sentence structure, and even spatial relationships. The second one is language production. In language production, the brain coordinates articulatory movements and also selects appropriate words to express thoughts and ideas. For example, when deciding to say "I am hungry" in a social situation, the motor cortex is activated to plan and execute speech movements, while the prefrontal cortex chooses the appropriate word sequence. And finally, language acquisition. Language acquisition involves complex processes of learning and also neural adaptation. These ones are commonly observed during early childhood development. For example, neuroimaging studies show that brain areas associated with language, such as the frontal and temporal cortex, undergo significant structural and functional changes during infancy, reflecting the acquisition and refinement of linguistic skills. There are some actually researchers that usually use a variety of techniques to investigate language, the brain, including functional magnetic resonance imaging, which is fMRI, and also electroencephalography, EEG, or even magnetic encephalography, MEG. These techniques allow visualization and, of course, analysis of brain activity in real time during specific language tasks. Now let's talk about theoretical approaches. As we see, there are multiple fields we can study with this science. However, there are different theories which seek to explain how the brain processes language. For example, the theory of probabilistic prediction proposes that the brain makes predictions about upcoming words based on statistical probabilities, facilitating, for example, language comprehension. If I say, for example, I eat bee, this bee is a word. I can, for example, say I eat bread, which is a possible logical conclusion. However, in the second sentence, I cannot say I eat blue, and you don't expect that this word was coming out. So this is an illogical conclusion, or something was in the sentence missing, for example. I eat blue cookies, for example, was possible, but just the word blue wasn't. Meanwhile, the theory of distributed connectivity emphasizes the importance of distributed neural networks throughout the brain in language processing. For example, when I say I really need this car, we have morphological, semantic, and also synthetic properties, but also phonological if pronounced. If I just said I really need this car before you read this sentence, you would already accomplished all of that information that is included on the sentence, even the most deeper one. So some final conclusion we can say is that language neuroscience is a dynamic and very involving field that continues to reveal the intricate neural mechanisms underlying our ability to communicate through language. By integrating knowledge from neuroscience, psychology, and linguistics, we can not only expand our understanding of language itself, but also develop practical applications that impact society as a whole. So, once again, thank you for watching, and for more, you guys can check these two books. First of all, Friston in A Theory of Cortical Responses, and Ms. Garani and Chang on Selective Cortical Representation of Attended Speaker and Multi-Talker Speech Perception.